We'll be starting our third philosopher from the empiricist line, that is David Hume. Now, from epistemological point of view, Hume is considered as an empiri- empiricist philosopher. Hume adopts the psychological method followed by Locke and Berkeley. In effect, he made Locke and Berkeley consistent, yet he showed that certainty of knowledge is unexplainable on the basis of empiricism. Locke and Berkeley considered that we get ideas through experience. According to Hume, through experience we get impressions and ideas, which are the only content of human mind. Hume agrees with Locke in the rejection of innate ideas. Every idea is acquired, according to him, and can be traced to its corresponding impressions. Now, impressions are immediate objects of our knowledge. Impressions are separate and independent of each other. They are atomic and unanalyzable. Impressions are changeable in nature. There is no necessary relation between impressions. Impressions are more vividly, lively, active, and impressive than ideas. The impressions can be divided into sensations and reflections. Now, ideas are formed after impressions. They are the faint images of impressions. Generally, they are less vivid, less active, and less lively than impressions. Now, simple ideas results out of impressions. Without impression, knowledge is not possible. Complex ideas are formed on the basis of simple ideas. It is possible to create complex ideas even without relevant impressions. Now, Hume's theory of knowledge, according to Hume, all impressions are distinct and separate and do not have any logical connection between them. This is known as Humean atomism. Example, color, taste, smell of an apple, etc. However, the knowledge, according to Hume, is unified whole. Hume formulates three laws of association to account for the relationship between ideas, impressions. They are law of resemblance of similarity, law of contiguity, and law of casuality, causality. Causality. According to Hume, these laws act as the cementing bond among ideas and impressions. Without these laws, no knowledge is possible. Now, types of knowledge. According to Hume, there are two kinds of knowledge. Knowledge of relation of ideas belong to mathematics, particulars, arithmetic, and algebra. This knowledge is free from sense experience. It is universal and certain, but it lacks factuality. Knowledge of matter of facts. It is the knowledge of objects of the world. This knowledge depends on sense experience. It's neither universal nor certain, but is factual. Finally, Hume comes to the conclusion that there is no knowledge proper, as there is no third kind of knowledge which is certain, universal, and factual. Now, Hume's view on caus- causality. Now, causation, according to Hume, depends on our knowledge of matter of fact. In causation, we proceed from immediate impressions to something not immediately present in our senses. On the basis of causal principle, we bind together the passing impressions into the universal law. Thus, Hume has not denied causality itself, but certain theories associated with causality. That causal necessity is a logical necessity, that there is a power in cause to generate effect. The idea of causality is derived from relations among the objects. It is a function of contiguity, succession, and constant conjunction. All the distinct ideas are separable from each other, same as the case with ideas of cause and effect. They are distinct and separable. However, in experience, we remember that one set of objects is always attended by other sets of objects. Example, smoke and fire. This habit of constant conjunction produces the mental habit of regarding things necessarily connected. Moreover, Hume argues that the reason can never prove the necessary relation between cause and effect. Hume argues that the experience cannot guarantee that which is not experience. Thus, rather than reason, it is the imagination provides necessary connection between cause and effect. Thus, empirically, we aren't finding a cause producing an effect. We perceive invariable consequence preceded by invariable antecedents. Necessity of causal law is psychological and it's an imagination. Now, Kant's criticism on Hume's view on causality. Kant refutes Hume's notion of causality because it will lead to skepticism. Kant says Hume is right in his claim that causality can be proved neither through reason nor through experience. However, according to Kant, causality is a category of understanding. Without understanding, experience itself becomes impossible. In Kant's view, the principle of causality is a presupposition that makes experience itself possible. It's called transcendental argument given by Kant in favor of causality. Now, critics, however, say that Kant has not been successful in refuting Hume. They say that Kant has demonstrated a kind of escapism by taking help of transcendental arguments. Now, Hume's notion of substance. According to Hume, any knowledge in order to be real must have elements corresponding to some impressions. Now, if there is a substance which is the permanent substratum of qualities, then it must be traced to some sensation or reflection. But the substance is derived neither from sensation nor from reflection. The idea of substance, according to Hume, is only the collection of simple ideas united by imagination which have a common name associated with it. Thus, like Berkeley, Hume successfully refutes the existence of material substance. Again, he goes beyond Berkeley in refuting the existence of spiritual substance also. Now, soul and personal identity. Traditional philosophers accept soul as an independent, permanent, and non physical substance as a ground of consciousness. Hume rejects eternal soul and reduced it into a collection of passing sensations, a bundle of sensations. Now, arguments against soul. Through experience, we can't establish the relation between two impressions. Experience also fails to prove an unchangeable substratum for these impressions. We find the knowledge of soul through experience, then the soul will also become particular kind of impression. It'll also become changeable in nature. It can't be accepted as the ground of other impressions. According to Hume, soul is nothing but a bundle of different kind of changeable perceptions. Hume raised the same question regarding the self which Berkeley had raised regarding to matter. Please show me any impressions from which the idea of permanent self is derived. The problem of personal identity. Hume explains the problem of personal identity on the basis of memory and imagination. Fiction of personal identity is the work of imagination. The succession of impressions and ideas are connected there together by resemblance, contiguity, and causation. Just as rapid succession of flames gives the appearance of a unified continuous flames, similarly sheer rapidity of perceptions make unable to notice a break among them. This means that our inability to notice the gap between the perceptions give rise to a separate personal identity, which is an illusion. Now, criticisms against Hume. Kant points out the bundle of experience can't constitute self. Though Kant refutes speculation of metaphysical self, he supports the notion of epistemological self. Identity of self consciousness or transcendental unity of appreciation is a necessary condition of all knowledge. The law of resemblance of similarity, contiguity, causality requires mind for their synthesis. Memory can't be explained without a permanent self. Memory is a part of our common experience, and everyone recollects past events. Memory is an adequate proof for their existence of self. If knower himself gets changed, recognition becomes impossible. Self is always the subject of knowledge, not object. Hume commits the fallacy of transcendental dislocation by reducing self to the level of object. Now, was Hume a skeptic? Hume analyzed the human mind and knowledge in terms of impression and ideas. He showed that ultimate outcome of Lockean empiricism is skepticism. If knowledge proper is defined as that which has certainty, universality, and factuality, then Hume can be called as a skeptic. Since he says that we can't find knowledge which is certain, universal, and factual at the same time, he becomes a skeptic. Moreover, Hume reduced causality into a mere connection conjured by imagination. He denied existence of any permanent substance and reduced even the spiritual elements into a collection of passing sensations. But complete skepticism outrightly denies the possibility of knowledge. Hume accepts the possibility of certain knowledge in mathematics. He also accepts the possibility of probable and factual knowledge in physical world. Also, Hume is not a skeptic about the methods and conclusions. Thus, Hume's skepticism may be called an academic or mitigated skepticism. Moreover, complete skepticism is a self contradictory concept. If someone says that everything is doubtful, then he is accepting that this statement also is doubtful. it's more logical to call him a positivist or pragmatist than a skeptic. That'll be all for this. We have completed the empirical part of the syllabus. Now, we'll be starting with Immanuel Kant in the next video.